Hi, my name is Sami. Again, I'm covering something that's very, very important for all parents who have kids in middle school. Make sure, and I put two lines under this, make sure that when your child gets to grade 6 and finishes grade 6, he has to know fractions, because what we notice in high school, the kids who have problems with fractions, they don't do well in their maths. And of course, if they don't do well in their maths, then chemistry and physics is also a problem because we do a lot of fractions in there. So make sure your kids understand fractions well before they finish grade 6, maximum the end of grade 7. So one of my emphasis when you're doing fractions is reducing, So what we notice with students, they don't reduce fractions. They just keep on multiplying tops, bottoms. The numbers get big. But if you follow what I'm trying to show you right now as a parent, which will help your kids a great deal, do much better in math, as fractions is a major problem that we see in high school. Fractions are like a monster. They're not. Once you get your head around them, they are as simple as other numbers. And so what I'm doing here, I'm giving you three things here, three different colors. Focus on these three concepts here. And if you do so, your kids should have no problems with fractions. And this is just maybe summing everything up under this three things. So there we go. I'm just going to start with the first one here. And I cannot say enough, reduction, reduce fractions. That's very, very important, reducing fractions. So there we go. So when we're reducing fractions, obviously you're looking for a number that goes into both of them. The larger the number, the better, then you don't have to do it more than once. Now, if I look at 9 goes into 9 and goes into 18. So right away, I could go 9 goes into 9 once and goes into 18 twice. And that gives me 1/2 as a final answer. Now let's go to the second one. 8 over 12. Definitely 8 doesn't go into 12, so I have to look for another number. The other number that goes into both of them, and the largest one, of course, 2 goes into both of them, but that's not the largest, which means you have to do it twice. If the numbers are really big, you might have to do that, but these numbers are small. So 4 goes into both, and 4 goes into 8 twice, and goes into 12 3 times. So your answer is 2/3. Now, we'll go to the second part that you really need to pay attention here. We say multiply, and what we notice, a lot of students, what they do, they multiply the tops together, the bottoms together, and then they reduce later. Not advised. In math, especially when you're doing fractions, reduce first, and reducing, you could reduce within the same fractions as we did here, and or you could reduce diagonally. So either you reduce within, if you see something that reduces, I don't see anything within each fraction here that reduces, where we could make the fractions smaller. Now what you look diagonally, like the 25 and the 15. If there's a number that goes into both of them, I should reduce them. So 5 goes into 25 5 times, and 5 goes into 15 3 times. So that's my first step. Now let's look diagonally this way. What goes into 8 and 12? 4 goes into 8 twice, goes into 12 3 times. Now to multiply top, you get 9, 3 times 3, and then you multiply bottoms and you get 10. We move on to division. So division, one step you do to make it multiplication. So you rewrite this as 3 over 10, but instead of dividing here, you change it to multiplication. You flip the divisor. We call it the reciprocal. So just flip it. The denominator becomes the numerator becomes the denominator, so we have 5 over 9. Now, should I just multiply the tops together, multiply the bottoms together? If anybody is telling you this, that's bad practice. What you need to do when you multiply in fractions, definitely reduce within, if you can, each fraction. If it's like, say here, we had 5 over 10, then I would reduce that. But of course, that's not the case here. So I cannot reduce within each fraction. Now I look diagonally, this way and this way. So the 3 I know goes into itself once. It goes into 9 3 times. 5 goes into itself once, it goes into 10 twice. Now multiply now tops together and bottoms together, and you get 1/6. And this is it. So again, a reminder, don't just multiply tops together, bottoms together, reduce before you do that. Trust me on this. When you get to higher level math, if you keep on multiplying tops together and bottoms together, you're going to run into a lot of issues. So this is an advice as a parent. If you're teaching your kid fractions, try to watch this video really carefully and make sure you apply what I'm trying to tell you from experience. So now we go to adding and subtracting fractions. I mean, I do that completely different from how they do add fractions in North America. So I like my way better because, again, long term, as you advance in your maths and you start doing high school, if you follow what I'm showing you right now, it's very easy to understand, just mechanical. There's nothing big about it. And so here, I'm just going to show you. So again, here, 2/3 plus 1/4, the first thing you got to find out what your common denominator is. Okay, so 3 and 4, the common denominator is 12. Now watch this. I take my common denominator. I go 12 divided by the denominator of the first fraction. So 12 divided by 3, that gives me 4. The number 4 that I got, I multiply it to 2, I get 8. Now I put the plus. I do the same thing here. So I go 12 divided by the denominator of this. 12 divided by 4 gives me 3. I take the 3, multiply it to the top. I get 3, and that gives me 11/12. Anyone who's telling you to do fractions by just multiplying these two here and then multiplying this into here and this into there, it works sometimes, but it doesn't work all the time. You shouldn't be following that. Here, so 2 ways I'm going to show you how to do this. Okay, so the first thing, somebody doesn't see and he wants to do common denominator, or they want to do common denominator right away, and they know the common denominator here is 10 because 5 goes into 10 and 10 goes into 10. Now 10 divided by 10 gives me 1. 1 times 2 is 2. Plus 10 divided by 5 is 2. 2 times 1 is 2. So I get 4/10, which reduces, again, reducing. Key for all fractions, reducing. Whenever you could reduce, you have to reduce and give your answers in simplest form. So 2 goes into 4 twice, goes into 10 5 times. So the final answer is 2/5. Now let's look at an alternative to do this. So the alternative is, let's watch this. 2/10, can I reduce here? You're allowed to reduce. If you could reduce within the same fraction when you're adding and subtracting, do. You cannot reduce diagonally though, but within the same fraction, you could reduce. So 2/10, so just an alternative method. Okay, alternative method. I don't think it's even, it should be called an alternative method because it's not a method. It just, alternatively, you could do, reduce this. So this 2 goes to 1 and that goes to 5 because 2 goes into 2 once and goes into 10 5 times. Now, because you have a common denominator, then you could add the tops right away. So 1 plus 1 is 2. And now that gives you 2/5 without even having to go through all of this process. But it doesn't work out to be reducible fractions within the same fraction all the time. So you still have to learn how to do common denominator. I hope you like my videos. And if you do, please put a like there, comment if you like. Also subscribe. I load up a lot of YouTube videos covering from middle school all the way to grade 12 math. Soon enough, I'll be also covering first year university calculus. So this will benefit a lot of students. Please share it with others as they could benefit as well. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye. Success in learning, success in life, and math is like a puzzle, and puzzles are fun to solve. Stay tuned for my next video.